I know I had this live stream scheduled for 7 o'clock, and I had to keep moving the time today because there was so much going on. But I'm happy to be here with you tonight. What's going on, family? Welcome to the channel. I appreciate you for rocking with me, man. Thank you for holding me down. First off, before we get into the big reveal, I want to say thank you so much to all of you who have been rocking out with me, especially over these last 14 days. I've seen a spike and not just viewership, but you guys are engaging with the content, you're sharing it with people. Obviously, you like what I'm creating, and I'm happy that I can add value. But I'm gonna ask one small favor, guys. Let me do a little housekeeping. One small favor before we get started. Can you do me a big favor? I know I have people reach out to me and they ask me, how can I support the platform, D? Like, what can I do to help you out? You know how you can help me out? By subscribing to the channel. Guys, it's free. Okay. 95 to 96% of you are watching the content, but you're not subscribed. And I'm trying to understand, if you're not subscribed, how are you going to get the new content? How are you going to continue to follow me as we go throughout this journey and we level up together? So we got to build a community, and you can do that by subscribing. So thank you. I appreciate that. So now that we got that out the way, okay, I know that this video is about what happened on the Security Plus exam. So without further ado, I want to tell you that I passed the exam. Baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna tell you my first initial feeling. The first feeling I felt was relief. Okay. I want to be careful about how I explain this because you have to sign an NDA. If you don't know what that is, that's a non-disclosure agreement as you're taking the CompTIA exams, any CompTIA exams, because they've had some less than scrupulous activities recently. And, a lot of people got in trouble for sharing information and all that. So I'm going to keep it very base level, but that was probably the most stressful test I've ever done before in recent memory. When I tell you, I studied so much, guys. I use Udemy. Obviously, I use Professor Messer, his videos and stuff too. But for some reason, it was like, first off, when I got there, it takes about 15 minutes for you to check in. So if you're one of those last minute people who like to study and then you want to read over some things in the car right before you walk in, that's not going to work. It's not going to fly. Okay. The second thing is actually less test questions than what I initially imagined. You still get an hour and a half, but it was only 74 questions on the test. And I'm used to taking the practice test I was doing was like 90 questions. So that threw me off too, right? Then on top of that, when you get in there, I think this is the biggest insights that I can give you guys. When you get in there, I want you to study from a sense of really understanding the material, because if you think you're just going to remember abbreviations, port numbers, I'm not going to lie to you. As I was going through the exam, I was like, what the fuck is this? I was so I was so confused because it seemed like it wasn't a ton of material that I was studying. And there's also a couple questions that's added in there that are sort of curveball. So it'll tell you when you're going through the registration process, it'll say like, okay, there's going to be 3 to 4 questions that don't count. That's in here as well. And what I usually do is, and I learned a lot of different strategies as I started to kind of build out my study techniques, and I'm gonna use this going forward. And I'll talk a little bit about in a minute what's next and what I'm gonna actually be able to do with the Security Plus. But the point that I'm making is they have some questions that'll throw you off. I just flag those and I skip them. Any questions that I cannot answer within the first 30 to 40 seconds, I skip them, and I knew I can always come back to them at the towards the end of the test. So I used almost the entire hour and a half, and I went through the things that I could answer. I was answering them, and I thought that I was, had a good understanding of what it was. But one thing I tell you is, don't second guess yourself. So I am proud that when I went through, if if I flagged the question, I didn't answer nothing. I didn't put an answer on there, or at least I tried not to. If I answered it and I did not flag it, when I went back through my review, I did not change anything. Okay, I didn't. I'm gonna tell you one more time. If I went through and I answered the question, oh, who is this? Sorry about that, guys. Give me 1 second. I don't know who. Maybe they calling me to congratulate. This supposed to be on silent. Hold up. And you know what? We're gonna keep it 100. We're not editing nothing out. None of that. All right, we on D&D now. But if I went through and answered the question, I didn't change it. I didn't. I didn't review it. I didn't look at it again. I didn't do none of that stuff. I just rolled with it. And then the questions that I did flag, if I answered it and I read through the question again, I read through the question multiple times. And if I had a good indication that this might be close or it's kind of, I have confidence in it, I'll just choose that, remove the flag, and move on. And I'm gonna tell you what my score ended up being at the end, but you got to make it 750, okay? But the crazy thing about it is, it was like 3 questions. One of them you had to do like Linux, um, shell, and that just didn't make no sense to me, okay? But I know a lot of you are going to be studying, and you're studying right now to go take the Security Plus. And I'm gonna tell you, I went through and I used Gemini to help me create a study plan. And as I was going through that study plan, I followed it to a T. Guys, let me tell you something. And I'm just checking the chat right now. What's going on, bro? What's good? Hold on, let me right back to my boy Ralph in the building, man. What's good, bro? I appreciate you pulling up. But the thing that I did, oh, okay. I'm with it. I'm with it. Got to get that leadership game up. Hey, I know it. I know that's gonna be part of it too. But it kind of, I was telling them, it kind of threw me off a little bit because they had a question about that was a bit of a curveball. But I don't know how much I can go into detail because I had to sign the NDA in terms of the information that's on the test. But so what I'm gonna talk about more so is just the overall structure and how I got through it. When I went through my study plan, I would do like a practice exam and then to break it down. I use Udemy for the practice exam, by the way. So I use Udemy for the practice exam and then to give you by domain what questions was right, what question was wrong, and I'll take that, put it in the Gemini, and then we'll drill. So I made flashcards. I did word matching, word association. I even had like, for example, the incident response process. I went through that in terms of, preparation, validation, all those different steps. But when I got on the exam, guys, I promise you, I was so nervous, bro, because I was expecting, because I had spent so much time drilling down on different domains, I was expecting the material to be more tailored to the specific domains, but it wasn't. It was 80 to 90% of real world type of, I guess you could say, real world applications. So it's important for you to learn the concepts of what they're talking about when it comes to X. Just put in whatever you're learning at the time. So I end up scoring a 758, and you need a 750. Okay, I was so fucking nervous going through that because it got to the point to where it didn't really it didn't really it didn't feel like it was making sense to me. It didn't. And I am proud that I didn't second guess my answers. And it was set up like after you finish the exam, it comes up like a survey. uh Thanks, bro. It A survey pops up first, so it don't even show you the score. A survey pops up and you got to take the damn survey, and then it like goes around like it was loading, and I'm sitting there like, Yo, and it finally popped up. Congratulations. And immediately so, I was relieved. I was so thankful. And the biggest thing is it was important for me to pass, not necessarily on the first go around, but I hadn't really locked in like that for studying in quite some time. So it was important for me to see the focus, the commitment, and then the results and tie them together. So now when I go for my AWS certs and when I'm going for these different things, I understand, okay, this strategy actually works. Because I'm gonna tell you what was the scariest thing. I'm gonna tell you what the scariest thing was. It was my study plan involved me. I took my test yesterday on Saturday. Thursday night, I had to stop studying at 7 p.m. I didn't study anything else from Thursday night up until the exam. Up into the exam. That was the big that was the biggest thing because I had never done that before. I'm used to cramming. I'm used to, even in the car, I'm looking at little small notes. Now I was thinking about some of the techniques and stuff, but once I got there and I started seeing the questions, like it really threw me off. Yep, it was. It was a 1,000% scenario based. Like most of the questions were scenario based. And then it was the biggest thing is, Ralph, it would give you, like, obviously it's multiple choice. Two of the answers will be completely wrong. Like if you have any idea of what the certain concept is or what type of technique that they're doing or what even type of procedure or standard that they're talking about, two answers don't have anything to do with it. But then they have two answers and they both can be right. So the biggest differentiator was this what really got good. The biggest differentiator was it'll say, like, okay, what security technique is most effective, or what security technique would you least recommend to this CISO? So it'll have like those little words in it to where if you didn't pay attention to the question, that's how you can get it wrong. So I'm really I'm really looking forward to okay, for sure. Hold on one second. So I'm really looking forward to, like, chopping it up with you guys as you start to go through the testing and stuff too, and as you're studying. And then another thing is too, I want to get a shout out to Raph. I'm gonna be over on his channel, Tech Coach Raph. I'm gonna be over his channel on Tuesday, and we're gonna kind of go through it and talk about it. So I'm not exactly sure like how we're gonna set it up just yet, but be on the lookout for that link. Hopefully we can get the link ahead of time, Raph, and I can like drop it down for both our audience and stuff like that, so they can check that out. So I'm excited to have that conversation. So I'll say, um I wanted to keep this short. We're not going to do a study with me tonight. I'm actually going to enjoy this, take some time off. It took me about 4 or 5 hours to actually calm down, even after passing it. That's how nervous I was. And I do want to show you guys. Um, Here is I don't know if I could show this, but um, let me see. Can I show you this? Let me show you that. All right, so here's the paper right here. I don't want to show my ID, but I'm gonna show you the score. I want to let you guys see this real quick. Let's see. Can you see this? Look, you see that right now? Passing score 750. Candidate score 758. So, what's next on the agenda for me is I'm diving into AWS. And what I decided was, at first I was going to start off with the CCP. So that's the Certified Cloud Practitioner. It's kind of like the entry level AWS cert. But what I figured out is I'm in a bit of a time crunch right now, so I need to get certain certifications before January so I can prepare for this new role. So rather than doing the CCP, I'm gonna jump right into the SAA, which is the Solution Architect Associate. Yeah, AWS. The great thing about that is, as I'm studying for that, here's my strategy, and I'll break it down in the next live stream on Wednesday, right? And by the way, we're going to be doing Study With Me live streams every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Every Wednesday, picking up this Wednesday coming up. So the reason why I'm going to do the solutions architect first and skip the CCP is because first off, it's a bit of a intermediary certification. And then what you learn in the CCP, you can actually learn that while you're studying for your SAA. So I don't have to, I'm not going to waste like time studying for that exam when it covers the same material. So I'm just gonna take the first 2 weeks, learn the basics, and then hop right over into learning the more advanced hands-on techniques. But from what I hear, this particular certification with AWS is going to be a little more hands-on. So I'm looking forward to that. So like I said, I just wanted to hop on and chop it up with you guys for a few minutes. Take some time off if you haven't already for this Sunday. Let's gear up and get ready. We got a 24-hour rule around here as we continue to build out our community. We have to take time out to enjoy when we hit a milestone. No matter how big, no matter how small, that's going to be just as important as actually hitting the goal too. All right. So, like I said too, as I sign out, man, I appreciate you guys for like really holding me down, and I can see a huge spike on the channel. And I think the biggest thing too is I'm gonna continue to iterate the content, and I want to make sure that as I'm documenting my real life journey, I'm showing you the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm giving you a behind the scenes look as to my ups and downs. Do I expect to pass every exam on the first time? Hell no, I don't. But even with that being said, I think with the different techniques that I'm gonna share with you guys too, and as you learn new stuff, feel free to drop down in the comment section and let me know what you're doing. Cause I'll tell you this, I will say one technique that really helped me out. I used to hear about it, but I have never used it before, was active recall. That was a big one. Active recall was a big one. And also, well, I'll just leave it at that. Active recall was a big one, and we'll dive into a little bit more. Like I said, I wanted to keep this short. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Help a brother out. Help me grow. We're on the road to 1K right now. And the way that we are, the trajectory I see for us, I see us building a community to where we can all level up, share wins, be able to kind of cross promote is not the best word, but cross utilize. I like that. Cross utilize our resources and our various knowledges as we all have different backgrounds and stuff to, for one, continue to build character, get to the bag, and be around and be amongst other people who are winning too. Because I never want to be the only one getting rich alone. All right. So, like I said, I love you. I appreciate you. I hope y'all have a great night. I will see you on a live stream Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And also, make sure you come and check me out on Coach Ralph, Tech Coach Ralph, channel. Right, I'll drop the link down in this description of this video on Tuesday, and just check him out in general. He's a solid guy, stand-up guy, really helped me out a lot, and he got a lot of good things going on over there with the Barbarians as well. So check him out, man. I'll see y'all soon. All right, have a good night. Peace.